in a world. What up, fam? Skull and the Globers, episode 5. New logo's awesome, thank you. All right. Interesting show for you guys tonight. It's going to be a rough one for the Globers. So it's going to be okay. We're thinking about launching a Glober rehabilitation program. So not to worry. Stay patient. We will help you out every step of the way. We want to. We're Globers. We understand your pain. It's going to be okay. We need Globers in here. I tell people not to ban the Globers. They're here, by the way. They are here. They just aren't. They don't always say stuff. Smash the like button, por favor. All right. So one of the main things we're going to talk about tonight is planes on a globe. So as you can see, you got planes flying all over the place, including north and south. Okay. We all know this, obviously. Planes fly every day. Now, they say that this is the Earth. We're spinning, and the planes fly over the spinning Earth. Now, by just looking at this graphic, you can begin to see a problem, right? The Earth is spinning underneath the planes, and the planes are going in different directions. Now, this is actually impossible. It's impossible. Okay. Now, trust me, I know the Globers don't think it's impossible, but it is. But it is. All right, so we're going to come over here real fast. Let's cover what they claim is happening on the globe. All right, share this. Please pay attention, Globers. School is in session. I need you guys to pay attention. Is it not going to play the audio? I swear I hate when this happens. I'm going to have to upload the video to StreamYard. All right, so they claim that the Earth is spinning and that the atmosphere is spinning with the Earth. Okay? Now, they claim that it's not spinning perfectly with the Earth because they claim there's something called Coriolis. Now, you, of course, can't have your cake and eat it too and say that there's Coriolis for things like bullets and the atmosphere moves differently than the Earth. But when it comes to stuff like planes, well, the atmosphere moves with the Earth. The Stillman argument for the globe is that this is actually their position. The atmosphere moves with the Earth, but not exactly. It's actually separate, which is why we have stuff like Coriolis. But it's negligible. It isn't that much of a difference. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay, now here's the official position of a pilot on the Earth that thinks the Earth's a globe.
Right. Yeah. So basically, it's like the Earth spins and curves, but you fly the plane like it's flat and stationary. Yeah. So it could be flat and stationary.
It's like he just genuinely.
Right. Yeah. So basically, it's like the Earth spins and curves, but you fly the plane like it's flat and stationary. Yeah. So it could be flat and stationary.
Dude on the right's triggered. He was triggered. I have that full convo. I'll end up uploading it. I'm going to be making a few videos. I'm going to fully break this down in an edited video that's real concise so you guys can share it with your fellow indoctrinated baller. This is, it's going to be intense for some of the ballers in here. They're not going to like this episode, but it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Okay, so say that the plane is flying north to south. They claim the Earth is spinning underneath it, okay? Again, I know some people like their graphics. Let me throw this back up here for you. They say this is the Earth and that it's spinning and the planes are flying over it. Well, when the plane flies north to south, like we'll use this plane as an example, the Earth will be spinning east underneath it, okay? Therefore, by the time that we get to our destination, say a few thousand miles away, the Earth will have spun underneath us a significant distance because, again, the Earth's atmosphere doesn't move with the Earth in the globe model. So, objectively, you would have to account for this. The way you would do it is you would actually bank east. Okay? Now, they claim that the Earth and the atmosphere don't move perfectly together, but that it's pretty close and it's negligible. Maybe I need to show a video here, but everyone should understand the concept of fluid dynamics as it pertains to rotation. You can just think of a blender. As a blender turns on, all the air towards the outside of the blender to the container, it all will move because you created a rotation in the middle. But the air towards the edge of the container is going to drag behind the air in the center. It's going to continually drag behind it. It's actually very simple to understand why. You have friction in the air, and that air on the outside has a greater distance to travel than on the inside. If you have a circle, then you have a bigger circle. The bigger circle is a greater distance. So you have to travel that greater distance. In order for the atmosphere to move perfectly in lockstep with the globe, you would actually have to have an increase in energy as you go higher. Proportionate to altitude, there would have to be an increase in energy, making the atmosphere stay in lockstep with the Earth because it has to travel a greater distance. So it would have to go a greater speed to go a greater distance in the same amount of time, i.e. moving in lockstep. Now, they obviously can't claim this for many reasons. One is that isn't reality. They don't have any type of mechanism they could make up to say that there's an increase in energy proportionate to altitude, directly proportionate to the needed increase in speed. But even more obvious than that, and there are probably 50 reasons why the model can't claim this and doesn't and never will, is because you couldn't fly a plane, period. You could not fly in any direction against the spin of the Earth if the atmosphere moved perfectly in lockstep with it. Okay? And there are many other reasons. So anyway, they claim that the atmosphere moves separate from the Earth. Now, everyone should soak this in. If this is true, the globe Earth is debunked thousands of times every day. Okay? Now, again, just like the pilot said, you have to fly the plane like it's stationary. Okay. North to south flights on the Earth debunk the globe. We'll cover it more in depth in just a second, but I'll show you guys this. It gets really, people have been getting really emotional when I bring this argument out. Let's just say that, because it spills over into something that people don't want to talk about, and it really hits home. And that is the moon landing. So we'll get into that in just a second. I just want to kind of iron out this concept here. So obviously the Earth's going to spin underneath you. You're going to have to bank east to keep up with the Earth. to get to your destination. So actually what you would have to do is bank east and accelerate forward constantly, adjusting for the spin of the earth to stay en route. Now, we've had a plethora of answers, right? We've had people say they do that. Now, they obviously don't do that. In reality, pilots do not account for the spin of the earth whatsoever. What they do is they account for wind. Wind and the spin of the earth are two different things. Of course, the wind blows in all directions. So what they try to say, because this is what the globe always has to do, they have to create an explanation where it can't be falsified, and it just happens to be a negligible amount, right? So they say, well, when you're adjusting for wind, the Coriolis gets lost in the sauce, basically. When you're adjusting for wind, you don't have to worry about the fact that you're spinning underneath you. That's incorrect, though. You objectively would have to do that. Now, some have claimed that the planes do that, right? Now, you can actually look at the schematics of any plane. They 100% don't do that, right? Now, most planes are autopilot, certainly commercial nowadays, but they don't do that. They don't adjust for the spin of the earth. In addition, if they did, then the pilots would have to be trained to know this in case they have to fly manually, which many people do, of course, and they don't. No one ever does this. The claim from the globe has to be, oh, well, it just gets lost in the sauce because of wind, okay? That doesn't work. It doesn't work. And we're going to get more in depth with how it doesn't work. So that's the first thing we're going to cover, is that fact you actually couldn't fly north and south on a spinning globe, right? Because you would miss your target, period. I know people are going to fight it. It is what it is. Okay. Now, something else we're going to talk about is, and we'll go in depth with each of these, the plane can't land on a spinning earth. It can't physically land on the spinning earth. Now, you can land on a moving surface. I will show you specifically. It's a very easy concept to understand. You can land on a moving surface. That is 100% correct. Let's check this video out. Oh, man. I forgot about that. In a world okay. There is something called aircraft carriers. They are boat platforms on the sea that planes land on, planes and helicopters. The military uses these, and they're not stationary. They're in water. Oftentimes they move all the way up to 35 miles an hour or so. So the plane will land on that carrier while it's moving 35 miles an hour. Okay. Let's check some of it out here. Okay, did you see that impact? Now, of course, everyone knows what it's like to fly a plane, okay? And something else I want to show you. Now, I saw someone say they'll say conservation of momentum. Just wait for it. So I want you guys to see kind of like the mechanism here. Okay. It should be in this video. Okay, you see this? You see this cord behind them? They have a tail hook, and it catches this rope while they're landing to help slow them down. Okay, it isn't the easiest task in the world because sometimes unexpectedly the boat will move last minute. It'll like get rocked by the water. There'll be an unexpected current, etc. And it can be very dangerous. Now, they've mastered it to this point where they can pretty consistently land without crashing, but it was a process over the course of many years to really iron it out, and they've somewhat figured it out at this point. Now, say that the aircraft carrier is going 30 miles per hour north. The plane is going to have to come in and then land north. Say the landing speed of a plane is like 150 miles per hour. You would take the 30 miles per hour off because you're going in the same direction as the ship. So you're going to land around like 120, right? Or say you come in at 180, then you'd have 150. You land in the direction of the aircraft carrier. You cannot land the plane going against the aircraft carrier. It would destroy the plane. A very simple way to understand this, let's see. I'll just show you guys a video. And we're going to get into the specifics of why the north to south doesn't work as well. This is just a death blow to the globe. It just is what it is. And it just keeps getting worse. All right. All right, here we go. Okay. So he's obviously running in the direction as the same direction as the treadmill. Okay. Let's say you try to get on the treadmill going the wrong way. It's obviously not going to work out too good, huh? You're going to have opposing forces and momentum. Now, then you just try to jump on it. In this specific scenario, we're talking about landing from air to the ground, landing. Now, on a plane, you have tons of momentum going in that direction, okay? So anyway, you have to land. Now, this is the point. On the Earth, if you were to land any way other than with the spin of the Earth, you would have a serious problem, okay? If you were to land in the opposite direction, you'd have a problem. And you also, what would be even worse, okay, is if the Earth was spinning to your left or right, because the wheels are just going to go forward or back. When you touch the ground, if it's spinning in to the left or to the right of those wheels, it's going to destroy the wheels and the landing gear, and it's going to destroy the plane. Okay? You couldn't land on it. They land the plane as if the Earth is stationary. That's because it is. They've come up with some type of narrative to try to say, oh, well, you can treat it like it's stationary. The atmosphere moves perfectly with the Earth. So it basically is. But it isn't actually perfectly with the Earth because we need something called Coriolis for like 10 other reasons. So it is and it isn't. It's moving with the Earth, but it's not moving with the Earth. But it can be treated like it's moving perfectly in lockstep with the Earth, but it's not moving in lockstep with the Earth. And they claim that it's just small enough it doesn't matter. Well, actually, it's going to be over 2 miles per hour. Taking that pseudoscience as if it was true, it's not, right? And there are problems with that. I'm only going to go into this so much. Like I said, I'll make a video that really explains the problem with all this, and you guys can just share it. It'll be under like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Anyway, so like you land on the plane, or they said it'd be about two miles per hour around commercial flight, right? Elevation, altitude. And then they claim that when you're adjusting for wind, it just matches perfectly. You don't have to worry about it because it's stronger than that. That doesn't work. You have to correct in a specific direction. They try to claim that it just automatically compensated for, but it's not. And then when you land, it would destroy the plane. Okay. Let me show you guys this video actually, because this gets really juicy in a second. If I can find it. Okay. Yikes. Really take this in. Now think about this happening, but the ground is moving to the left of the wheel. Snap. Wheel's broken. Wheel's immediately broken. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how small the change is. It's the direction and the momentum and the opposing force. It would defy physics if it didn't break. There's no way this can be true. This is too simple a refutation of the globe. Yeah, the globe is stupid. The globe is actually stupid. Yeah, broken. Okay, you guys get it. Now, let's get into the specifics. And then we're going to get into the next step of it, which is the moon, which gets even worse. All right, here we go. Class is in session. All right. We're just going to read the whole thing. How do flat earthers reply to this experiment? This is someone named Michael Brenner on Quora. He's crushing. Studied mechanical engineering and comparative linguistics at Vienna University. And he's a flat earther. How do flat earthers reply to this experiment of them flying the flat earth route as opposed to the Great Circle route to prove the earth is flat? It's the other way around. Would be interesting to know how globe defenders answer this conundrum of Great Circle routes. Let's make sure it's big here. So far, nobody has, and pilots who should know this, like whoever he's talking to, usually are so full of themselves that they don't even listen. Okay, riddle me this. A great circle is the result of geometry. A plane cutting through a sphere through the center leaves a great circle at the surface. Okay. That means if you set a vessel or a plane out on a path initiating the great circle, let's say on a southwest course from Sydney, leaving out all external influences like currents and winds, geometry should make sure that you arrive at the coast of Africa on a northwest course without touching the rudder, all the while watching the bearing on your compass change continually along the route. That is not how it works, though. You have to work the rudder hard and constantly change course in order to stay on that route, according to the Great Circle calculator, at least. But if you touch the rudder, you leave the route created by the geometric plane responsible for the Great Circle route in the first place. Here's the Marine Great Circle navigation calculator. Also, I would like to shout out my boy here. Check him. Oh, yeah. Paraplegic Bear. Paraplegic Coffee. So shout out to my boy hooking me up with coffee, and it's very good. I'm not just saying that. The calculator requires JavaScript-enabled and capable browsers to sell a Great Circle track. The navigator needs to adjust the ship's course continuously because the Great Circle track is a curve when plotted on a Mercator chart. It is unrealistic to attempt to sell on an exact Great Circle route. Realistically, to best make use of the shorter selling distance of the Great Circle route, navigators usually divide a Great Circle track between the initial position and the destination into many much smaller segments. Okay, here it says the navigator needs to adjust the ship's course continuously because the Great Circle track is a curve when plotted on a Mercator chart. This equally applies to the plane. But the ship does not sail over a Mercator chart. It sails over the real ocean, and if that would be a spherical one, heading out southwest from Sydney, the geometry of the sphere would guide your ship past the whatever to Africa without touching the rudder. When in fact, if you would do that, you would hit the ice wall of Antarctica. How's the baby? Awesome. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not showing it. Okay, by the way, have you noticed that all arguments about Great Circles are always latitude arguments? They never want to talk about longitude globe coordinates, which are also meridians. Okay, so the prime meridian Great Circle route north to south. Oh no, Globers. All longitudes are meridians and Great Circles because they are produced by a plane cutting through the center of a globe Earth. And there are plenty of flights along such meridians, one of them being the route from Frankfurt, Abuja, flown by Lufthansa. Okay, other languages are crazy to me. Why do you put those letters in that order? I just don't. Lufthansa. Lufthansa. Anyway, so a little bit here. You have Frankfurt and Abuja. Okay, we're going to fly down south on a globe that's spinning. Okay, before we get into the details of this specific flight, let's have a look at the principle that goes under Coriolis, a term globe defenders absolutely love to invoke in all applicable and non-applicable situations without trying to figure out what that means. The animation here is from the Wikipedia article, which calls Coriolis a force, but that it can't be because it is not an interaction. A fundamental requirement for something to be called a force is a projection of the non-accelerated movement of a body onto an accelerated rotating system. Okay, so here's a depiction of Coriolis, right? So you basically have a deviation, and it's a projected deviation. It isn't actually a physical interaction, i.e. a force. Here, the black ball is moving inertially straight and uniform from the center to the periphery. I don't know how to say that. Just like a plane would do on a course south at constant cruising speed, where it is not accelerating, neither ahead nor sideways. Globers, pay attention. If you project positions along the way down onto a rotating platform, like a rotating Earth, for instance, the projection will have a curved shape. If you think of the red spot on the disk as Abuja, 4,500 kilometers south from Frankfurt, and the plane as a black dot moving uniformly along a southern course, then it will arrive at the latitude of Abuja, a great distance west of Abuja. I hope I'm saying that right. We can easily calculate how far that would be. The tangible velocity of these cities are calculated as such. So here you go, where you actually take the cosine relative to the latitude. Okay. And that comes out as Frankfurt is 1,074 kilometers an hour. And then you have versus Abuja, 1,651 kilometers an hour. The difference is 576 kilometers an hour. Therefore, Abuja would, during a 5.5-hour flight, move 3,171 kilometers to the east. Okay, let's come back up here so you guys are following me here. As you're coming down, you're going to actually move 3,100 kilometers to the east. Okay? Because the Earth is moving, allegedly. Which means the plane would miss Abuja by that amount, just as illustrated in the animation above, where the black ball misses the red dot. Just watch the animation here. Wow. No way. No way. Do you see? It's pretty simple, right? It's not really that complicated. It's just a cartoon. Like, you are missing the destination due to the projected difference based on spin. Okay. And this point I hear already. The atmosphere is part of the Earth and moves in lockstep with it and thus carries the plane with it like a river. But it doesn't. It doesn't. According to your model, it doesn't do that. Argument. But that is exactly what Coriolis says it doesn't do. And it is an effect observed between two independent systems, one inertial, the other accelerated. Inertial meaning unchanging, of course. And Coriolis cannot do anything anyway. It has no executive power in physics. It is not a physical species. It is an observer-dependent artifact and can therefore not be the physical cause of anything like tornadoes and swirls in the sink. Of course, this is another example of, if the Earth's a globe, why do you guys have to lie so much and claim that sinks, the water in the sink and in toilets go different ways above and below the equator when they provably don't do that at all? And that's like some little gimmick people do close to the equator to get tourists money based on the actual like build of the sink. Why would you have to lie about that until Flat Earth came along and called you out? Totally not suspect. Anyway, and that leads us to one of the most widespread misconceptions here and elsewhere, that gunners can and do compensate for the Coriolis effect by leading the shot, as illustrated here from a skeet shooting instruction video. You got to lead the shot. The Earth's a ball, bro. That makes me almost want to. Let me see if I can find it real fast. Makes me want to play this video. Oh, here we go. All right, we're going to play it. Stop, present, share. Just so I don't get too, it's not like too dense of a stream.
We only have one shot at this guy. Okay, a little left. Okay, now factor in the spin. No, God damn it, man. Okay, what direction are we? East, west, north? Okay, we only have one shot at this guy. Okay, a little left. Okay, now factor in the spin. No, God damn it, man. Okay, what direction are we? East, west, north, south, northeast? Factor in everything. We need to know exactly the direction, the spin of the Earth, and how to combat it, or else we're gonna miss. There's no spin of the Earth. Take the shot, retard. But that would mean Neil deGrasse Tyson is wrong, and you miss every single shot when we do this. If we miss this shot, our location will be blown. We've been here for 4 days shitting in little cans. Tell me the spin of the Earth. Like, okay, down to the left 16 inches. No. They saw us. I missed a shot. I guess it was spinning a little faster than I thought. Oh. Globe, Earth, sniper. I can see the mirage. No, that's the target. Must be a mirage. No, I've done... I thought, oh. Globe, Earth, sniper. I can see the mirage. No, that's the target. Must be a mirage. Wow, I've done the calculations. 8 inches per mile squared. I wouldn't be able to see him. It's a mirage. I'm not taking the shot. It's him. Like, every sniper just shoots people. That's a fucking mirage. That means Neil deGrasse Tyson, the bike thief with the answers, is somehow misleading me. Globe, Earth, sniper. Okay, if you factor in the curve. This is clearly a mirage.
That's one of the funniest like minute-long videos ever. All right, we're gonna go back over here. I should throw that in there. A little information break. All right. They lead the shot all right, but once the bullet leaves the muzzle, it is a straight flight in the aim direction and not a banana-shaped flight as in the animation above, which would make aiming and hitting practically impossible. Now, what you actually have to account for is you have a barrel spin. The bullet has a barrel spin coming out of the gun. We'll get more into this. I think that we should actually like go just kind of destroy that with like real physical tests because it would be awesome. Like obviously shooting guns is awesome unless you're lame. All right. And nothing can accelerate the bullet sideways to straighten out this banana shape along its way and make the bullet hit the moving target. So Coriolis is a myth when applied to the Earth because it is a real thing, right? But it's a myth when applied to the Earth because the Earth is clearly not spinning and nothing illustrates that better than flights along a meridian. I need everyone to soak this in. I need the Globers to soak this in. I'm gonna show you this just because I know you guys, some people are suffering from cognition right now. So to really put this into perspective, he said the Earth's not spinning. Oh no, that can't be. That can't be true. And here is none other than your boy Einstein. But when I was a student, I saw that experiments of this kind had already been made, in particular by your compatriot Michelson. He proved that one does not notice anything on Earth that it moves, but that everything takes place on Earth as if it is at a state of rest. I am, of course, not appealing to the authority of this little grabbler. I am simply pointing out your belief system because that's what this is about. Schooling the Globers on what they believe to be true so you can at least make an informed decision moving on. So the Earth is not spinning and nothing illustrates that better than flight along a meridian. I must concur. So, and that gets us back to the flight. Frankfurt Abuha. It is correct to say that planes don't fly along ballistic trajectories. They are powered, but it is also correct that they cruise at constant speed. Very crucial detail here. For which they need their power, apart from getting airborne. In physical reality, you can never catch up to a point that accelerates past you or away from you with constant speed. Certainly not by banking the plane in the direction the point is accelerating away from you. You need to accelerate yourself. This is a very crucial part, okay? For one, they don't even claim to bank in that direction, constantly correcting for the directional change of the Earth's spin. They don't even claim that. They don't even claim they do that. That's not what pilots are trained to do. Nothing. Pilots are trained to fly exactly like the Earth is stationary. Exactly like it's stationary. Period. Or everyone would die. Okay? That's reality. Right? Just like I showed the video, it's completely stationary if you fly the plane or you can't fly planes. This is why I oftentimes say, if it came down to people's lives and more specifically money and investments, the Earth would be stationary and flat overnight. Every time that something real has to happen and be effective, or people's lives are at stake or money is at stake, the Earth becomes stationary plane real fast. Moving on. Okay, so certainly not by banking the plane in the direction the point is accelerating away from you. Very simple concept. We're both moving this way, okay? If this hand is accelerating away from this hand, okay, I can't just catch up to what's accelerating away from me by maintaining a constant speed. It's going to keep accelerating away from me, okay? You're going to have to, now it's specifically accelerating away from you in a direction also. You would have to be banking and accelerating to catch up to the Earth from underneath you just to maintain the route. Hope that's making sense to you guys. So you're certainly not by banking the plane in the direction the point is accelerating away from you. You need to accelerate yourself. That is fundamental physics. And not so much physics of motion, but physics of energy expenditure for the goal of overcoming conservation of angular momentum. So you can see the irony, right? Where, like I said, someone said earlier, well, they'll just say conservation of momentum. That is actually what destroys them, though. So this is a main tactic from ballers, right? They project intellectual ineptitude and ignorance onto the person daring question their cult of low IQ scientism. Their low IQ cult of scientism. IQ is not that important. Maybe I should drop that out of it. I don't know. Like it's scientism. It's a cult. It's a religion. It's a religion. Okay. So what they have to do to propagate the idea that flat Earth is insane, anyone that dares question the cult of scientism is a science denier, they have to try to teach you talk down to you, and they have to teach you basic principles of physics. Flat earthers just don't understand conservation of momentum. And then they go to tell you this like 7th grade textbook explanation of conservation laws. Okay. Anyway, like as in, oh, please teach me about classical mechanics and conservation laws. Please teach me. I don't understand. You know, like it's just a tactic. Anyway, sorry, that was diversion. All right. So the physics of energy expenditure for the goal of overcoming conservation of angular momentum. When people catch you in the act of violating any conservation law, let alone the conservation of momentum, they will drive you out of town with wet rags. But when it comes to airplanes, it will be claimed that it does not apply. It will be claimed the atmosphere acts like a river, not for a bullet, though. Worse, it will be claimed that it is indeed the Coriolis effect, which is responsible for the fact that the plane hits a buha without need to do anything about it, contrary to what the animation shows and is actually the case. This is very important. This is very important to fully understand. I'm going to try to look at the chat some more to make sure everyone's following me. Is Tupac alive? I don't know. All right, I don't know. I don't see anything. So let's just continue going. But I will say this as a side note. You can't violate conservation laws, bro. Like you can't do that. And that's what they do. Okay. Like, for example, they claim that there's super rotation at the top of the Earth's atmosphere, but you can't actually have the Earth's atmosphere moving 300 times faster than the spin of the Earth without introducing additional energy. We're going to get into that later as well. So I'm going to have to kind of try to get through this. Okay. Let's say what textbooks say about angular momentum. Let's see what they say. In physics, angular momentum is the rotational analog of linear momentum. It is an important quantity in physics because it is a conserved quantity. The total angular momentum of a closed system remains constant. Angular momentum has both a direction and a magnitude, and both are conserved. An airplane sitting on the tarmac in Frankfurt has the angular momentum of the latitude of Frankfurt and conserves that momentum. When it gets airborne, and then it is a closed system separated from the ground, just like in the animation. On a flight south at constant cruising speed, nothing changes that unless something accelerates the plane eastward to match the angular momentum of a buha, which is, of course, considerably greater as v gets greater and cosine gets smaller towards the equator, right? So, like, Frankfurt's closer to the equator, so how much the Earth is spinning is different relative to north of that. Torque is defined as change in angular momentum, and the amount of energy needed to do that is the integral of torque applied over time. So there is an energy expenditure necessary to increase the momentum of the plane from that of Frankfurt to that of a buha, but never are airplane captains asked to account for that extra energy, which would have to come in gallons of fuel. That's how you know. Like I said, when it comes down to money, the Earth's a stationary plane really fast, right? Another consequence of spin would be that your plane would get lighter when you start east as compared to starting west, as well as being latitude dependent because gravitational acceleration is not related to rotation. Axial acceleration, on the other hand, is. We're almost done. Your angular displacement is not primarily related to the rotating Earth, but to the dynamic origin, the center of rotation. Starting east increases angular velocity of a plane, and with it, axial acceleration starting west decreases angular velocity, and with it, axial acceleration. And when you subtract these accelerations from gravitational acceleration, according to the diagram above, the difference is a smaller value for the net value of gravity towards east than it is towards west, and thus you are lighter in one direction than in the other, which is hilarious because that would also come into the form of millions and millions of dollars in gallons of fuel. Many people are aware of that, of course, much more than you would think, but the public and peer pressure of the dogma is so great that it's practically tantamount to social, if not professional, suicide to admit that. For all of you who fear the social pressure, here's how people who are considered to rank among the greatest scientists serving in the highest positions in research in the educational system did not fear to express what evidence suggests. Sorry, we just have a lot to cover. I want to get on with it. I will read these quotes, actually. They are very useful for understanding the problem with scientism. George Ellis, which I have covered in my geocentrism presentations, people need to be aware that there is a range of models that could explain the observations. For instance, I can construct you a spherically symmetrical universe with Earth at its center, and you cannot disprove it based on observations. Based on observations, that includes retrograde observations, alleged parallax observations, stellar aberration, in general, all of those observations, the phases of the planets observations. Every observation works with the Earth at the center, and in many ways, and in fact, there are a significant amount of different types of geocentric models that would explain it, and it's actually more elegant as you have the galaxies completing a circuit, and it's more adaptable, but this isn't a geocentrism episode. Lincoln Barnett, in his book The Universe, and Dr. Einstein, with a foreword from Einstein himself, "For we cannot feel our motion through space, nor has any physical experiment that ever proved that Earth is actually in motion." Okay. Bernard Cohen, former professor of the history of science at Harvard University, wrote, "There is no planetary observation by which we on Earth can prove that the Earth is moving in an orbit around the sun. Thus, all of Galileo's discoveries with the telescope can be accommodated to the system invented by Tycho Brahe, and actually more specifically a neo-Tychonic system." This is the tutor of Kepler, by the way, who came up with Kepler's laws for planetary motion of bodies. Is very, very accurate. Neo-Tychonic systems answer every question you can come up with. Just before Galileo began his observations of the heavens, in this Tychonic system, the planets move in orbits around the sun, while the sun moves in an orbit around the Earth in a year. Furthermore, the daily rotation of the heavens is communicated to the sun and planets, so that the Earth itself neither rotates nor revolves in an orbit. What you will have people say is, "Oh, they're just talking about the motion of the Earth in orbit." No, objectively, that's not what it is. Either the Earth is at rest or it's spinning and revolving. It isn't. That's it. That's what you have. It's a package deal. If the Earth is revolving, it's also rotating. It has to be. That's the only way to explain the observations, even theoretically. So anyway, I don't want to dive too much because I do love to talk about this, to be honest. Albert Einstein also acknowledged this, writing, "The struggle so violent in the early days of science between the views of Ptolemy and Copernicus would then be quite meaningless. Either coordinate system could be used with equal justification. The two sentences, the sun is at rest and the earth moves, or the sun moves and the earth is at rest, would simply mean two different conventions concerning two different coordinate systems. Evolution of physics." We have Max Born. "Thus, we may return to Ptolemy's point of view of a motionless earth." This is all very important because this is why you can't fly planes on the Earth. On a spinning globe, it doesn't work. Okay. This would mean that we use a system of reference rigidly fixed to the Earth in which all stars are performing a rotational motion with the same angular velocity around the Earth's axis. The Earth is flat, though. One has to show that the transformed metric can be regarded as produced according to Einstein's field equations by distant rotating masses. This has been done by Thuring. I'll maybe cover that in the future. He calculated a field due to a rotating, hollow, thick-walled sphere and proved that inside the cavity it behaved as though there were centrifugal and other inertial forces, usually attributed to absolute space. Thus, from Einstein's point of view, Ptolemy and Copernicus are equally right. What point of view is chosen as a matter of expediency? What's so interesting is what I actually think for sure after what all I've looked into is that the sky is translating motion and forces down to a stationary Earth. It seems quite abundantly clear that that's what's happening actually. Hence the Sagnac effect, and the person that discovered it saying it was the vortex in the ether. And then, of course, combining Michelson-Gale-Pearson and Michelson-Morley, you don't get the prediction of the orbit differential with the Michelson-Morley, but Michelson-Gale matched the sidereal prediction with the 98%, which is all that you can ask for because our actual 15 degree per hour sidereal rotation isn't exact. It's a little bit off. It's just pretty close, and we use it for a calendar because it fluctuates within that 98 to 100% range. All right. Sorry if I'm talking too fast. It just kind of happens. Ernst Mach, the Austrian physicist, wrote, "The motions of the universe are the same whether we adopt the Ptolemaic or the Copernican mode of view. Both views are indeed equally correct." Arthur Eddington, "There was just one alternative. The Earth's true velocity through space might happen to have been nil." I'm going to absolutely bury this guy in future shows. I am actually going to be doing a show called Relatively Simple. And the idea of the show is that I want people that like their friends or families or whatever to come on. But I do think I'm trying to decide exactly how to do the show because like we're not playing off a relative, but it's like having people fully understand, like just destroying relativity. So the question is like, I explain what's wrong with relativity, and then we can kind of let people come in. I think it's a beautiful topic to bring people in that are new. If you're talking to someone and you can't get them, some people may say, no, relativity is too complicated for the new person. No, that's why it's called Relatively Simple. We're going to make sure it's easy to understand and digest. And when someone's new to this subject or they don't really listen to you, when they really find out that the emperor has no clothes and you pull the curtain back from the Wizard of Oz, you see that little short grabbler that hates his life and is a super weak gamma and isn't really strong at all, and it's just all a facade, then it becomes very real for them. And then they begin to find out that this isn't science, this is a religion. It's a belief system built upon the doctrine of men, void of empirical verifiable evidence. It's built upon a philosophical bias called the Copernican principle, which is that the earth cannot occupy a special or unique position in the universe. The word special isn't science, that's philosophy, that's a philosophical bias. Then you find out that all the evidence says that actually the earth is the center, but they avoid that because it's a horrific idea to claim that the earth's in the center, as it automatically and instantaneously necessitates a creator, intelligent designer, which, by the way, so does the heliocentric model. But anyway, all that to say, I'm kind of like I'm creating a logo and an intro and a format for the new Relatively Simple show, and I think that we're going to break down and just destroy relativity. The first episode will probably just be like a real like destroy relativity episode. Like just destroy it. Like all I've been doing right now is showing everyone they have to concede that that the earth could be stationary even according to relativity, but I'm talking about destroying it, like destroying relativity. And then from there on, we'll just kind of like really just go over this basic understanding. And then what I need is from you guys is to get a lot of people that are kind of new to the conversation or fight it, whether that's your friends or family. You know, I call my friends like my brothers, right? So like relatives, good enough. People that are close to you that kind of fight it or kind of on the fence or whatever. You find a way to talk them into coming on. Like, look, I'll stop bugging you with it if you go talk to this guy, whatever it is. And you bring on sincere, genuine people, and we can help break down like this whole philosophical decision that was crammed down our throat as if it were science, when in fact it's scientism. All right, moving on. Sorry. Bernard, I don't actually say his name, Hafe. The data of Michelson-Morley were almost unbelievable. There was only one other possible conclusion to draw, that the Earth was at rest. That's Michelson and the Speed of Light, 1960. By the way, all you claiming that a South Pole must point and circular Antarctica cannot represent. Okay, we're not even talking about this. Okay, he goes on to talk about some more stuff. All right, cool. I know that was kind of a lot, but anyway, simply put, I think that we really like laid it out just on its face. You can't fly north to south. Now, here's where we can get into some more interesting stuff. If you land your plane, when you land on the aircraft carrier, so everyone understands, you want to attain a ground speed of 0, which means you want to come and match what's moving, right? So that you can land on it. So you need a ground speed of 0, right? Like to land on a moving surface. Now, there is no rebuttal for this. Like they can say whatever they want to, but there isn't one. It's just physics. Like I'm sorry. You would have to bank and accelerate the entire route to catch up to the Earth moving away from you. And that would be in addition to your route, just objectively. And you can't claim that the atmosphere moves in lockstep and perfectly pulls the plane. First of all, you wouldn't be able to fly planes in like majority of directions that way. And you have a plethora of other problems if you claim that. You would have to claim something, is introducing energy. And we kind of covered that. Like to keep it moving in lockstep, as you go higher, it has to move further, which means it needs more energy to go faster. To travel a greater distance in the same amount of time, it has to go faster. They would never claim that. There's like 50 reasons why. So they have to claim that the Earth moves separate from the atmosphere and that Coriolis is a thing, and then simultaneously claim, oh, but it's good enough. And they'll just say that a lot, and they'll try and drag you through the weeds of it, but it doesn't matter what they say. They can't actually address the point that you would have to bank and accelerate. You cannot maintain a constant speed, which planes do. You can have a constant speed and catch up to something accelerating away from you. Very simple. That's basically what the whole post said, right? Pretty simple. All right. Now we're going to move on because I find this to be hilarious. Okay, share. I don't know if this will work very well. Let me see. No. No good. Okay. All right, I'll have to take them and move them over. All right, now. So they say they landed on the moon, obviously. And this is where it gets very fun, bro. So we went over their claim about how planes land on the Earth, and it doesn't work. It doesn't even make sense. But now let's get into the next part of it.
Okay, it's go there, Capcom on the hot fire. Okay, all flight controllers going around the horn. Gonna go for undocking. Okay, Retro, go. Fido, go. Guide, go. Control, go. Telcom, go. Jinsei, go. Ecom, go. Surgeon, go. Capcom, we're go for undocking.
Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins arrived at the moon on Saturday, July 19th.
When we did get close and we rolled out and saw it for the first time, it was a revelation. It was gigantic. It filled our entire window.
The next day, Sunday, July 20th, was landing day.
And a lot of anticipation. We finally come to the day, the moment that this is about to commence.
Landing on the moon was
Cool story, bro.
absolutely the most difficult piece of any Apollo mission. Okay.
Yeah. This is where, dude, it's checkmate, bro. 2023, it's checkmate.
Think about it as a controlled fall out of lunar orbit. The problem is, in this controlled fall out of orbit,
Controlled fall out of orbit. Controlled fall out of orbit. Okay.
you only have enough fuel for one try.
Capcom, we're go for landing. Altitude 4,200. Houston, you're a go for landing, over.
The trajectory had been wrong. They were targeted into this inhospitable place. Then they had to fly over this area at a high forward velocity, then pitch up to slow down so that kill their forward velocity.
Whoa. See, this is the problem, bro. They buried themselves. You want to know why they don't really want the telemetry data to be well known? And then all of a sudden they found it 50 years later, allegedly, which is the original footage. But did they really find all of it? And you know why they don't really like to talk about it and why they haven't done it again and why I don't think they're going to fake it again? Because we're going to pick it apart because you can't make claims that defy physics, bro. And part of the spell is people think, oh no, NASA must know. I'm going to really bury this year though. And I'm going to make a video to fully explain it. It'll hopefully be under like 5 minutes. But anyway, listen to what he's saying specifically.
Then they had to fly over this area at a high forward velocity, then pitch up to slow down so that kill their forward velocity and then start down like a helicopter. So now we're critical fuel state. And that's why the 60-second call was given, and then the 30-second call.
Then I really got nervous, was calling out 25 seconds of fuel left, and then 20 seconds of fuel. Oh, jeez.
Okay, engine stop. ATA at a descent. Mode control both auto. Descent engine command override off. Engine arm off. 413 is in.
Okay, so they just buried themselves. They made specific claims about the actual mechanism of landing. It's all over. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And just to make it a little worse, here you have China. China. Do you see what they're doing right here? Oh, this is a problem. This is a problem. What is that? What's going on here? All right, now let's talk about it. The moon supposedly rotates 10.8 miles per hour at the equator. The Apollo 11 landing site is right at the equator. They claim on the Earth, you don't have to really worry about the Earth spinning because the atmosphere moves with the Earth, even though not really, but we'll just pretend it does and pick and choose for different arguments. It does, but it doesn't, but it's good enough, but oh well, you're stupid, right? That's basically their argument. So you don't have to worry about the plane on the Earth because the atmosphere moves with the Earth. Well, on the moon, they of course claim that there is no atmosphere. And they have, of course, since updated their model a few years ago where they claim that the Earth's atmosphere extends out past the moon. The apologist response is, oh, well, that's just a technicality and there's basically nothing there or whatever. Doesn't matter. There isn't an atmosphere on the moon. So when you're trying to land on the moon, you're going to have to directly account for the change in the surface, the difference in the surface motion and your motion. Okay. So look what they're saying. Look at how they say they landed. Now, like I said, I did cover that you can land on an aircraft carrier. It isn't impossible to land on a moving surface, but there's a very specific way that you have to do it. Okay. Now they claim like I said, I'm just giving this out. I'm throwing this out here. I'm going to make a much more in-depth argument and presentation at some point. But so they claim that the lunar lander descended for something like 756 seconds or something like that, like 12 minutes. And then it's moving like 10 miles per hour. So you got like a significant distance, over a mile, that it's moving, right? Like just under 2 miles or whatever that it's moving. So, well, 6 into 10.8, right? So was it like 1.7 or something? So they have to catch up to the moon like over 1.5 miles that it's moving away from them because there is no atmos. Now, this is where it's funny. Sorry. My bad. So like what's crazy is like I'm getting all kinds of different arguments right now from them that it's like hard to keep up with what they're actually going to end up coming together as a cult to say. So it's like really fresh. It's a fresh wound for them or whatever. But what they were trying to say eventually, once they exhausted all these other, attempts to explain this away, one person tried to say that the reason that you don't have to worry about it is once you're descending to the moon has gravity. So it's pulling you down to the center of mass. So it's going to pull the lander with the spin of the Earth. That's ridiculous, though. Of course, if you have a ball that's spinning, the center of mass isn't changing. It's going to pull you down to the center of mass. It's not going to pull you around the ball. Okay. So you have to adjust just like an aircraft carrier. You have to actually go in the direction of motion until you get to a ground speed of 0 so you can then land on it, like as if it's stationary, because you were able to go at the same speed as it. So then you're able to get a ground speed of 0 specifically, right? So that's what they would have to claim that they did with the moon landing. The problem is, right, that they also claim they're in orbit. You heard that guy say they had to like leave the orbit, right, to come down to the moon. The moon supposedly orbits the Earth at 2,200 miles per hour. So you would have to account for the angular velocity of the Earth's orbit, the moon's orbit around the Earth. And you would also have to account for the rotation of the Earth. And you would have to attain a ground speed of 0 to land on it. And you would have to do this, you have to land in the direction that the moon is rotating. Some of them were trying to tell me you could land in all directions, but then they ended up admitting that, to get the ground 0, you have to obviously match the direction of motion. But apparently, and I don't know all the details yet, they claim that they orbited around the moon one direction while the moon's spinning the other direction. So if you were to leave the orbit, you would have had to change direction to be able to go attain ground speed of 0, right? So anyway, the long story short, if you combine their argument for the Earth and the moon, one's got to go. So what are you moon landing deniers now? Because if you're claiming, which this doesn't work anyway, they claim that, you can fly a plane on a spinning Earth and magically you don't have to worry about it. We just covered why that doesn't work. You would have to accelerate and bank to catch up with what's accelerating away from you, but they maintain a constant speed. They don't constantly accelerate. So therefore, it's refuted. And then when you land on the Earth, it would be spinning separate from you because the Earth atmosphere doesn't move specifically with the Earth. And so you would actually like destroy the landing gear. The plane wouldn't be able to do that, especially going left and right from where you're landing. You also can't land against it, just like aircraft carriers. You'll never see an airplane come in and land against the direction that the aircraft carrier is moving. Everyone would die. Okay, you have to come land in the same direction as the aircraft carrier. You definitely wouldn't come in and land sideways to it either. Again, everyone would die, and it would just completely destroy the plane. So they say that, well, the Earth's atmosphere is dragging around, and then they lose that debate. You come over here to the moon. Like, the moon doesn't have an atmosphere. It's even worse. So you would have to invoke something like an aircraft carrier, right, where there's an independent movement. And then you would have to account for the ground speed. You have to also account for the orbital trajectory, because if not, the moon is going to fly away from you at 2,200 miles an hour, right? If you're allegedly attaining orbit, NASA claims that the moon has bumpy gravity and that it's super hard to get into its orbit, and you'll get shot out randomly because it isn't an even distribution of gravity and it's all different all over the moon. That's what they claim. But anyway, say you magically did attain this orbit, then whenever your module leaves, so it says you'll get shot out of orbit when you're specifically trying to maintain that orbit. When you drop a lunar lander out of it, I hope I'm being followed. Like, you're leaving that orbit and you're going to be carried with the momentum of that orbit. And you're going to have to actually change direction to then go and land on the moon, attaining ground speed in the other direction. They didn't do this, though. They didn't claim they did this. You just heard him claim what they did, that they came out of the orbit and they started going in acceleration, and then they pulled up and then landed like a helicopter. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. That tweaker shelter that they call the lunar lander would get destroyed. So there you go. I don't want to make this too dense for you guys. And I'm not really responding to any Globers in this episode, so cool. I'll cover that more in depth soon, but basically they're going to be forced in 2023 to either be a moon landing denier or be a globe Earth denier. And ironically, or unfortunately for them, there is no out either way. They're both impossible based on the claims. All right. Now I want to show you guys something else. Now I know a lot of you guys probably heard of this, and we're going to cover what's wrong with it. Boom. So they say that the Earth's core stopped spinning. As you can see, these articles actually have different claims here. You got Earth's inner core just stopped spinning. Yeah, the inner core spins separate from the rest of Earth. Earth's inner core may have stopped spinning, but what does that mean? Earth's inner core may have started spinning in the other direction. Has Earth's inner core stopped its strange spin? Earth's spinning inner core recently paused, then flipped its direction. Earth's inner core may have started spinning other way, study suggests. Okay. That's a problem. So let's cover this. It's so bad for them. All right. Okay. Earth's inner core spins and is slowed and paused. Scientists believe this happens roughly every 7 decades. A new study says there's a direct connection between the inner core spin and life on Earth's surface. This is where it gets bad for them, bro. Earth's inner core stops spinning, but don't fret. It appears this happens from time to time, say every 7 decades or so. Oh, it appears this happens all the time now that we have to update our model. This is science. A new study published in Nature Geoscience by geophysicists Yi Yang and something of Peking University and Beijing explored the nature of movement of Earth's inner core, largely made up of iron and molten liquids. They found the inner core's movement recently reduced enough they considered it paused, all part of what seems to be associated with a gradual turning back of the inner core as part of an approximately 7-decade oscillation. Now, this is one of the major problems with the globe model. You know how people love to say, where's your model? You guys don't even have a model. Where's your flat earth model? They don't have a model, and they have millions of people, billions of dollars, decades of university efforts, tons of bright minds trying to explain it for them, all the consensus, all the propaganda, all the resources, and they still don't have a working model. Starting at the very beginning, the core of their belief, pun intended, doesn't work. And this is before this, right? This just makes it worse. It's called the dynamo problem, the geodynamo problem. It's well known that they don't know how to explain what goes on with the magnetic field, the axial precession, the seismic activity, the maintaining of the magnetic field itself, the actual motion correlation from the core to the outer core to the surface up to the mantle. They don't have an actual working model. They literally don't. Also, when they took their little dynamo model and their layers of Earth model, and they went and dug 7.8 miles down in the borehole, they found out their predictions were wrong the entire way. It was hot where it was supposed to be cold. It had too much moisture where it was supposed to be dry. Everything they claimed 7 miles down was wrong. Oh, but they definitely know what's 4,000 miles down. But no, they admit that they don't know, and they're just trying to figure it out. This just makes it much worse. They found the inner core's movement recently reduced enough they consider it paused, all part of what seems to be associated with a gradual turning back of the inner core as part of an approximately 7-day oscillation. The last turning point was in the early 70s, allegedly. Whoa, calm down. Our understanding of Earth's inner core doesn't have a strong history. Ancient days, of course, had folks believing in a hollow core. Oh, man, those stupid ancient people. We don't understand it at all, but we know they're wrong. Then came the understanding of iron and a molten mixture making up Earth's middle, coupled with the theory of spinning happening separate from the rest of the Earth. Very interesting, huh? Why Earth's core is cooling faster than expected? Dude, every single part of their model is just falling apart, and it's going to get really bad. I'll explain. We don't quite know the speed of spinning, but it appears that maybe because the inner core remains in a constant state of flux and switches directions roughly every 7 decades thanks to electromagnetic imbalances and gravitational forces. Oh, just say it. Electromagnetic imbalances. Oh my gosh, that's science. The new study further tracked seismic waves through the core to see how they played out on the other side of the Earth. This globally consistent pattern suggests that inner core rotation has recently paused. Now, obviously, there is no spin of the Earth. You're talking about electromagnetism, period. That's all it is. You're talking about discharges, equilibrium being sought. You're talking about like oscillations of energy in the Earth inside of a stationary Earth. And obviously, when you claim something goes onto the other side of the Earth, you're reifying your stupid globe model that defies physics. With the spinning changing throughout the decades, the authors believe there's an interplay between the spinning of the Earth and the Earth's mantle, and not just a spinning core for spinning's sake. The I forgot, it's like weird how you say that, decadal, something like that. Periodicity. I hate these words, man. Multi-decadal periodicity. I feel so stupid right there. Coincides with changes in several other geophysical observations, especially the length of day and magnetic field. These observations provide evidence for dynamic interactions between the Earth's layers from the deepest interior to the surface, potentially due to gravitational coupling or potentially not due to your stupid pseudoscience, and the exchange of angular momentum from the core and the mantle to the surface. Okay, so all of a sudden, they're like, oh, there does seem to be a direct relationship between the core and the movement at the surface. Okay. Now this is where it gets even worse. Okay, so obviously this is just a problem on its face. They don't know what they're talking about. But I think it happens all the time, because if we look back at the data, we can pretend it happens all the time, and now we have to come up with a new theory that says it's just insignificant and wouldn't have physical effects. But it looks like if we do that, we're going to have to say that there is a direct relationship between the mantle and the surface and the core, and so we don't know what's going on. Oh, it must be cooling down faster than expected, and all this crazy nonsense. Okay. Let's continue on. They also recently have discovered. Oh man, they took it over. It's like they took it over with the new story. The Earth is spinning too fast. The consequences for timekeeping may be unprecedented. So here's, well, what is this?
I'm Jay Herman. I'm the EPIC lead scientist for the Discover mission. On July 6th, 2015.
Wow, bro. Think about believing this is real. Can we get some stars, bro?
Released this spectacular image 1 million miles away at a special gravitational balance point known as Lagrange 1. From this view, EPIC sees the sunrise.
People real deal think that's real. I mean, I guess I get it. I can see why, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, nobody's perfect, not even our planet. On average, Earth rotates on its axis every 24 hours, every 86,000 seconds, but for various reasons, from the planet's imperfect shape to its complicated interior, every day is not exactly the same length as the day before. What's more, a day lasting exactly 24 hours is merely a standard we've come to expect right now. Earth's rotation is slowing down over the long term thanks to the moon's pull on our world. Is it though? Just a few 100 million years ago, for example, an Earth day was only 22 hours long. What a freaking pile of pseudoscience, bro. In a millennia to come, an Earth day will last far longer. Okay, blah, blah, blah. We don't have to read all this. So this is what happened. And you can fact check all this. So they saw that the Earth was speeding up because they had the shortest day ever recorded in 2020. They're like, so when they see that the stars and the sun are moving faster in the sky, they have to immediately make the assumption that the Earth is physically spinning faster. Then they recorded the shortest day in 2021, and it was slightly longer than the year before that. Then in 2022, they recorded the shortest day ever recorded again. So as in it was, it's gradually slowing down. It's speeding up. It's slowing down. It's speeding up. Now, this is the problem. You can't have the Earth speeding up unless you have an energy introduction. So introduction of additional energy. It's called the law of conservation of energy. I like to use the laser analogy so people understand, right? If I shoot now light doesn't travel, but let's just explain what people think's going on with light. When you shoot a laser through glass, okay, or through a tank of water, right? It's going to look like it slows down. And then once the laser exits the tank of water or the glass, it's going to look like it speeds back up. It takes longer for the light to go through the glass. It slows down by about 30%. Now, what they claim is light has a constant speed. If it was to go in, slow down, and speed back up, that would violate the law of conservation of energy. Because in order for it to enter the glass and then exit the glass and speed back up, it would need energy to speed up. You need to produce energy. You need to introduce energy to speed up. So what they say is that the light actually traveled the same speed the whole time. It just took a bunch of detour routes in the glass, so it had to travel a greater distance at the same speed. So it just looked like it had to slow down and speed back up, which is all complete pseudoscience, and light doesn't travel at all. And all you do is add an additional medium layer of the glass, because all we're doing is perceiving light, which is an excitation of the background medium. Then you have the air, and then when you add, so the air itself is an additional medium, and on top of the medium that is light, then you add glass, so you put another medium. And as you layer mediums, then how quickly you perceive the illumination that is perceivable light changes based on the mediums. So anyway, my point is, you guys get it. You shoot the laser. If it slowed down and sped back up, it would violate the law of conservation of energy and momentum unless you have energy introduced to it to make it speed back up. Okay. The only other option for the globe Earth saying that the Earth is mysteriously spinning faster is to say that there is a change in distribution of mass, meaning if you have the same amount of energy, but the way the mass is distributed changes. Well, that energy is going to affect the new distribution of mass differently and can then make it spin faster. But they can't come up with a way to explain it. Now, I've had lots of like apologists try to explain it, where they say, oh, well, maybe it's because the ice caps are melting. First of all, there are no ice caps. There's no ice cap on the bottom of a ball, obviously, or you'd be able to go over it and prove it. But the point is, that doesn't work, even according to NASA, right? Like, I guess I learned from the last time, it's like you almost got to look this stuff up for people. But straight from NASA's website is if the ice melts and goes into the ocean, then it's going to actually slow the Earth down. So that doesn't work. Then they tried to claim that it was because of an earthquake that happened in like 2011 in Japan. They think it's because of earthquakes. That doesn't work either, though, because it's sped up, slowed down, sped up. So this is one of their biggest like unfalsifiable windows where they run around and they can make up anything to keep the model alive. It's the seismic activity of the Earth. It's the oscillations. It's the alleged electromagnetic fluctuations across a globe. It's the earthquakes. It's the PNS waves. This is where they bury us in pseudoscience. They can, no matter what happens in nature to disprove them, they'll try to make stuff up. But the earthquakes don't work anyway because of the inconsistency of the change, and it isn't gradual in a specific direction. So they haven't been able to even work out how that would possibly happen. It's just like this grasp at straws idea. Oh, it must be something in the Earth because we know the Earth must be speeding up because we know it's a spinning ball. It's a cult. It's a religion. It's not science. Okay. I've heard a couple other things that people have tried to mention. One tried to say like the sun and the moon relationship. No, they claim the sun, moon, Earth relationship causes the Earth to slow down over time. Long story short, they've come out in the last 3 years and they've said the Earth is mysteriously and unexpectedly and inexplicably started to speed up and then slow down and then speed up again. In fact, faster than has ever been recorded. And now they're coming out saying that the Earth's core has also slowed down, has actually come to a stop, and they think it's spinning the other way now, which is completely speculative nonsense because when they look at their dynamo model, which doesn't work even according to Harvard, right? Like they see that they have serious problems with the prediction. It doesn't work. The predictions don't work. They don't make sense. So they have to say, oh, wow, the seismic activity is not matching our assumptions. And then all of a sudden they come out and they say, oh, study finds blah, blah, blah. And then they just jump back to decades previous saying, okay, well, this explains this data from decades ago and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, so you just changed your whole theory that everyone runs around and claims is so legitimate. You just changed the entire thing. And one day, every mainstream article posted, this is posted everywhere. And we're supposed to believe, oh, this is totally legit. It's everywhere, dude. CNN, Vice, IFL Science, Nature, Euronews, everywhere. They all ran the story. Earth's inner core. I mean, how many pages do you think we could go where this is going to be the story? 20 hours, 9 hours, 13 hours. It's everywhere. Oh, here we go. Another one. Oh, the inner core might be reversing. Scientists have previously hypothesized that the planet's outer layer spins at different rates to the inner core, which is suspended within a layer of molten iron. It is thought that the iron's core relative speed plays a role in maintaining the magnetic field on planet Earth, but the new findings suggest that something is changing beneath our feet. Dude, it's over. It's over in like a million different ways. But this is what I want to really drive home for you guys, because I've kind of been talking fast and a lot, probably covering a lot. I'm just going to interact with you guys to end the stream. I'm going to open up a couple things that people sent me. And I'm still trying to finalize like the new like official layouts for everything for the coming shows. But we are going to reach a moment where nature itself irrefutably debunks the globe model, right? If say the days keep shortening, you can only claim the Earth is spinning faster so many times and to such an extent before it's impossible to even claim it. Therefore, globe Earth debunked. Like there's like literally the days are shortening, and in my opinion, the scripture says they will continue to do that. It literally says the days will get shorter. But I think it's going to continue to do that. To say it continues to shorten, they're going to have to say the Earth is continuing to speed up. That's directly contradictory to their entire gravitational claim of the sun, moon, Earth relationship that claims that the moon is actually slowing the Earth down. If it's consistently speeding up, then you have a problem. And if it speeds up too much, you have a problem. Now, they actually already have a problem. Like I said, it violates the law of conservation of energy unless you could come up with some new energy source. They know they can't do that. They can't just make up some like gradually introduced energy source that speeds the Earth up, but no one's known about until now, and then somehow pull off it exists, unless they want to go all the way over until, oh, there's this new quantum effect we didn't know existed, and I don't know. Okay, they're going to try to spin the distribution of mass thing. They're going to try to say that there's a change in distribution of mass, and so the Earth is spinning faster, even though it's actually slowing down, but it's spinning faster, right? They haven't been able to come up with. You can't just say that. Now, if you're religious, you can just say it. Like, you can just say it if you're religious, I guess. But like, there is no explanation that's viable at all, right? Because you can't just make it up. And this is where they go into the inside of the Earth. You can't really see it, but this is where they go into the inside of the Earth and start making up stories. Look, I'm going to make a video real fast. Oh, how dare you? How dare you not believe our pseudoscience? Yeah. To me, this is just like, it's very obvious with people with eyes to see that their model's just wrong. It's just, the Earth isn't a spinning globe. It's just not. But this is, I guess this is what's going to happen, right? They're just going to keep saying, oh, well, science is always learning things. So, man, yeah. You guys have no idea what's under the Earth, bro. And you know what? The scriptures say it's water. At this point, it's never been proven wrong, and you're consistently proven wrong. So maybe I would go with something other than you. I mean, like, one thing's for sure is I don't believe your religion. At least I can acknowledge that my belief system is founded upon faith. I can't go scientifically grab the creator of the Bible and prove him to you. Although you can logically prove a creator, I can like at least acknowledge like the limits of my claim. You guys pretend that scientism is an actual, like, definitive, non-biased study of the natural world. That's a lie. It is a religion. All right. I could just keep going. Let me just... Okay. So we're going to open up some of the stuff you guys into the P.O. box. It's very difficult to start from scratch and look at anything with an open mind. We're all just very complicated rocks, yeah. Oh, yeah, you can totally land on the moon while the moon is orbiting 2,200 miles away from you, and it's also spinning 10 miles per hour at the equator, and you don't have an atmos, so you're going to have to correct for it, and then you descend for 2 minutes or for 12 minutes over 1.5 miles while simultaneously falling out of the orbit, and the moon is moving away from you, so you'd have to adjust for that too. And we completely forgot to add that part of the story into how we landed, so we showed you video of us like basically going straight down at one point and not accounting for anything other than just like coming down as if the orbit just accounts for all of it with the additional spin, and the directions don't match, and you'd have to account for the angular rotation of both of the two combined directionally. They'd have to be perfectly lined up, the rotation and the orbit, which would change constantly like every second. And then they claim that they actually messed up on the timing of the landing, and then showed you videos, including China, where they just go over, turn around, and go straight down. Not how it works. Completely debunked nonsense. But you can blindly believe it, I guess, if you want to. And all right, here we go. And then we're going to open up the gifts or the letters and stuff. I think it might like not let me talk though. All right, this is what they think science is. Wow. Wow, that's where you live. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They made all that up because they had to. And bro, this is a house of cards, and their geological evolution claims, their radiometric dating claims, their billions of years claims, everything, their earthquake claims, their magnetic field claims, everything is based upon this like core outward Earth model, and it's all falling apart. The core is supposedly slowing down to the point that it stopped, and maybe it's going the other way. Admittedly, they have no idea what they're talking about. If you talk to an apologist, they'll say they know all about it. They don't. The truth is, you can't fight the truth. You can't stop it. Truth will always prevail. It will always eventually come to light. And nature itself is going to debunk the stupid scientism claims of the globe Earth. That's pretty much it. This is not reality. This is not where you live. This is completely made up. We've only ever gone 7 miles down on the Earth. And this little model here has had over a century of failures. Admittedly, they don't have one that works. They don't even agree on it. You can't match the actual axial precession of the Earth with the axial precession of the alleged core. They don't even match up. They can't explain why it doesn't match up, and they have like 50 other problems with it. None of it works, even in theory. When someone asks you, where's your flat Earth model? Say, where's your globe Earth model? Falsification is independent of replacement. If I found a folder that said that I was adopted and told someone, look, turns out my life's a lie, I'm adopted, those aren't really my parents, and then they said, that's crazy. Who are your real parents? And you said, I don't know. So their response was, oh, well, until you figure out who your real parents are, I'm not going to believe that you're adopted. I'm going to believe those are really your parents. And you're like, bruh, there's evidence right here. They're objectively not my parents. No. But until you know who your real parents are, I want to keep the story. That's ridiculous. It's insane. And you guys made the specific model claim, and it's wrong. And you don't even have one. That's the funny part. So, okay, cool. Let's move on. We have some like presents. How dare you? Shouts out to the legends that sent stuff to the P.O. box. Thank you all for showing the Witness love this week. Donations are still coming in at the GoFundMe link in the description of this stream. Thank you for what you do, Austin. Thank you so much, Run Boston Bear. Thank you for the supports and the $20 super chat and everything that you've done for me, brother. Much love. Yeah, I'm very thankful for you guys helping us out. That was a true lifesaver to help make up for the Bryant fiasco. So thank you guys. I'll be doing something for everyone regarding that for sure. By the way, Austin checked out that Flat Earth and Coffee guy, and thanks for the recommendation. Good channel. Yeah, for sure. Everyone should go sub to Flat Earth and Coffee. I think he's cool. I like his vibe. You rock, bro, teaching us all so much. Thank you, man. Mindshock is going to release the second part of your debate with Brian this week. Nice. That's where I'm actually talking, I guess, the second half. All right, I don't want to miss the super chats, though. I think I did have another super chat. See, this is why I kind of like what Owen does, where it's like he has someone that's always there at the stream. I'd have to like make consistent times for the streams where it's like, okay, hit me with the super chats. That would be great. So I don't have to like sit here and like pause and there we go. What's the dealio, my G? What's your Telegram? So my Telegram like username, I don't know. I don't just throw that out on YouTube. I don't think. I think I may have already. But yeah, it's at Real Witsits. And then if you want to talk about my Telegram channel, which I haven't really like started doing much with, it's t.me/Witsit streams, and then there's t.me/Witsit gets it, I think. But thank you for the super chat. Matt Will, thank you for the $10 super sticker. Much love, brother. Greatly appreciated. When is your next debate? I'm waiting to get confirmation that I'm debating on Raw. That would be tomorrow if I am. I don't know. I haven't heard anything, so I don't. Not really holding my breath. Oh, I'm not going to forget Rockfin this time. I always forget Rockfin. I'm going to text James right now. Thank you, Sharon, for the $5 super sticker. Much love. Greatly appreciated. John, hey, welcome to the Miswits. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Oh, level 3. Wow. Thank you very much. Very generous, bro. Thank you for becoming a member. That's very cool. I encourage everyone to become a member because we're going to start rolling out certain things with member only. So there'll be the occasion member only chat or something. Like, don't get really triggered, man. It's like going to be okay. Pretty much everything I do is free. Thanks. Pastime for Sleep Night All. Much love, bro. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this so we can wrap this up. And like I said, I'll be rolling out the relatively simple show soon. So we'll have like, Schooling Globers episode, whatever. We'll have relatively simple episode, whatever. And then we'll keep on rolling the shows out. I'm just trying to get everything done. And then I've been having to get into a swing of thing with the baby. And it's kind of my whole schedule kind of got flip-flopped at one point. So I'm trying to get everything back on track. Jazz Jacket, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Hey, welcome to the Miswits. Welcome to the Miswits. Part happy and spunky, part cuteness and clever, all yours and all lovable. Now and forever. Congratulations on your new little girl, Laura and JC. Thank you so much for the kind words. I hope I don't I hope I don't mix everything up. Okay. Austin and Kai, should I open it first? Maybe I should open it, then read the letter. You guys are awesome, though. Oh, little hats for Leah. Oh, yeah. It's just a trip. She's going to get that big. Styling. Good wit hunting. That's pretty funny. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey. Very cool. I like that you didn't hit me with like Disney characters or something. All right. That's very cool. Thank you so much. You guys sent a lot of stuff, I feel like. This is no joke. I would never do that. What are you talking about? Oh, is this you? I try not to say the last names. I don't know if people. What's on the other side of flat Earth? Didn't we just cover that no one's ever gone past 7 miles? From me? Oh, thank you so much, Cat Lady. That's also generous. Oh. I don't want to know what this is. Is that a word? I don't think so. Is this like a swaddle? I think that's a swaddle. It's definitely very comfortable. Blanket. Awesome. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you. You sent so much stuff. That's crazy. Oh, check it out. Oh, you're so sweet. I see the big pins. All right. All right, let me read your letter. I'm not very good at keeping up with stuff like this. All right. You're cool with me reading your letter, yeah? Pete and Rachel, I believe I had opened this up, so I think this is what it was. Pete and Rachel, I think you guys sent. Yes, okay, cool. I think you guys sent some swaddles, which is very cool. So thank you, Pete and Rachel. I don't think there's a letter in here, but if I ever miss anything like that, guys, just contact me. Aaliyah's so blessed. She's got a nice little truther family. That's very cool. All right, let's read the letter. Just a question. What's the FE explanation for why star paths show and recordings show circular patterns at the poles? There's a lot of reasons. One is just like an azimuthal grid of vision. It's actually been mapped out. You can see it very clearly that as you look out based on like our arc of vision, because we see visual space and hyperbolic geometry, that it's going to create that optical convergence that curves down into the limit of your vision. And that's why we see it. You can actually replicate this by just putting a dome over concentric circles and you'll see that convergence, even though they're all going in the same direction. So there's actually quite a few very easy explanations. People just love this. People just say that it's impossible, and what can you do? And after I explain it, they're going to still say that there's no explanation. Not necessarily you, but just people. All right. Austin and Kai, we're so happy for you both. Congratulations on your precious baby girl. I have followed you on your journey of activism and debates in all of your streams. Thank you so much for all you do. As for myself, I'm 23 months into my awakening to flat earth. You, Austin, have taught me so much. My 12-year-old daughter, JC, tunes in with me, age appropriate, to watch activism debates and most streams. Nice. I homeschool her, and we use some things to compare to her school. We have watched you both grow together. Y'all are amazing. We feel like we are all family. We are. We hope you enjoy the gifts. Again, thank you, and can't wait to see that sweet baby girl. Love you guys. Laura and JC. P.S. The 2 giant diaper pins can be used as keychains. Awesome. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. And we are family. We are family. You're always here too. That's very nice of you. I really appreciate it. I feel we are very blessed. And I'll show Aaliyah her new little animal, stuffed animal. That's very cool. So thank you again. And yeah, that was very generous. And then thank you again to I just feel like I might be missing or mixing something up, and I'm gonna feel bad if I do. Like because I also see Michaela here. I think I saw Michaela in there. I just hope that I'm not like mixing things up. I'm sorry. You're crushing like a mug. Thank you. Yeah, like I see Michaela, and this package was opened. Maybe it was I'm sorry. It could have been, I don't know. Thank you, Michaela, for what you sent. If it's one of the things I opened up, I guess it might have been the. I don't really know. Anyway, if you're in here, you can let me know. You are correct in everything I gave you. Okay, awesome. Okay, and then I got this from my boy JJ, which is also Hempcrete Bear, and this stuff is incredible. Boom. This stuff is awesome. CBD rub, very cool. It is actually awesome. Like, I'm not just saying that. So thank you so much for that. And yo, Austin, much love, bro. JJ Hempcrete Bear here. You mentioned you love the CBD rub I gave you at the Bucks finals game in Milwaukee. Thanks, bro. Text me up and let me know how you like this one. Maybe we can work something out on sponsorship if you like it. Either way, take this as a congratulations gift. Heavy Metal Bear used it for his son's growing pains, and I guarantee it'll work on diaper rash. Awesome. We've been very blessed with that. But I do appreciate it so much. Like, both Kai and I love this stuff. So I'm definitely down to work something out with you, man. It's very cool. Very cool stuff. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you guys for the letters. JJ is a legend. Yeah, he came out to the finals game. It was cool. All right. I think we're good. We'll get into the swing of things where I'll like get better with all that. But thank you guys so much. I love you guys. I appreciate all the support and you guys rallying around Aaliyah. It means a lot to me. Like, it's a very cool feeling. We're about to like really start crushing, knocking streams out. We're going to have like one stream that is like going to have a bunch of Globers come on and try and like tell me why there's a Globe or whatever. Maybe more open-minded. So that will be one of the shows, and then we'll finish out the other two. But I may just have at least one where I just cover gravy. I also have like a dope stream I want to do for you guys. Maybe tomorrow. I'll do the stream on the subject I want to cover, which is what I think they're gonna be doing in the future and what the next like whole psyop is. And yeah, that'll be cool. So we're about to like be real consistent. I'll lay out the schedule and the times, and then we'll get the website done and the app done, and then get the summit rolling. And it's just it's just a lot. I'm not gonna lie, like I had to really kind of get in the swing of things with the whole like sleep schedule. We love you guys so much. Thank you. We love you. I'm a big fan of Witsit. Thank you. Globers get high off of spirals. Yeah, of course. But who cares? I mean, like what they really like thrive. They don't really get high off the spiral. They get high off of the interaction. Like they want to provoke response from people. That's it. So, and trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Like I know for sure. I've like know way too much about the psychology at this point. Okay. I think we're good. If I miss anything, I'll catch it back up. Oh, maybe you sent me this, which I was kind of perplexed about to some extent, but I think that's what Michaela, is that what Michaela sent me? I think maybe Michaela sent me this, The Return of Christ, Why Are We Still Waiting? I'm not sure who chose your artwork, but I do appreciate it. I haven't read it yet, but I'll check it out. So thank you. I definitely love to get books as well. I've had people asking for like 6 months now for me to release a book wish list and like just a book reading list that I suggest or that the books that I have or promote. And I still haven't done that. So I'll try and put that together. Y'all watch the last MDD after show. It's great. You mean from Mind Debate? We covered that. All right. I think we're good. Let me not miss these. how dare you? For School in the Globers is awesome. Keep it up, bro. That was all the way on the 19th. Yikes. Thank you so much, Casey. Dan's things and stuff in stream. Yeah, bless. Thank you so much for the generous donation, Daniel, and Cash App. It's much appreciated, brother. Congratulations. I just had a girl too. It's awesome. Thank you, Chris. I think I've already read these, but I'm not actually sure. And thank you, Mark. Thank you guys for the Cash Apps. All right. Oh, I almost forgot Rockfin again. I do it every time. Okay, Rockfin. Shout out to the Legends of Rockfin. Adrian, thank you for the $5 tip on Rockfin. Much love. And Harmon, thank you for the $5 tip on Rockfin. Much love. All right, cool. I think we got there. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Basically, in summary, you can't fly a plane north to south on a spinning globe without accounting for it. Much less could you land on a spinning globe with it going in a direction contrary to your momentum. You could do neither. You also can't land on the moon without an atmosphere while it's spinning and orbiting, and then you just claim that you just went straight down on it. Yeah, you would have just had your entire little tweaker shelter there completely destroyed, and the Earth isn't randomly speeding up and slowing down and speeding up as the core of the Earth also slows down, stops, and turns the other way. The Earth just doesn't move. And then there's a cycle in the skies for times and seasons and wonders, and it's supposed to tell us what's going on. That's why the sky does what it does. Cool. All right. Thank you guys for kicking it. Seek and speak truth unequivocally. I'll get you guys all the new shows and stuff rocking out here soon. We're gonna finally get into the swing of things. Who cares what other people say or think? They're always going to attack you. The weak are always going to attack the strong. The people that can't think for themselves are always going to come attack you. Oftentimes in this realm specifically, where we have an alternative cosmology, we feel passionate that children are being misled into a cult of scientism while it's actually a religion is portrayed as science, and they're being told that they're insignificant. They're being told that everything came from nothing and we're a tiny speck of dust and nothingness consumed in a dark void, and that there's really nothing special or unique about where you live or you, and that lightning struck primordial soup and fish turned into rocks turned into fish, and then you came from strawberry, all this crazy pseudoscience, and that it's billions of years and blah, blah, blah. And they just received a radio signal from 9 billion light years, which is 6 trillion times 9 billion miles. And they just make you feel so insignificant. And we're passionate about, like calling that out. People will come around, and out of an attempt to find some types of importance or validation, they'll try to tear you down. And that's just kind of how it always goes. I mean, when they revile you for his name's sake or for the truth's sake, just rejoice, because they do that to all the prophets before you. They do it to anyone that speaks the truth boldly, and it's kind of expected. And what's true is not popular. What's popular is not always true. It's just kind of what comes with the territory. So just stand strong. We need strong leaders that seek and speak truth despite societal ostracism now more than ever, in case you weren't here for the last 3 years. And I will be covering this, I think, tomorrow on my stream, but it's not really like it's all over. There's nothing to really focus, no reason to stay focused or anything. Like, they are clearly they are priming people for another deception. And so we'll cover that tomorrow. Shout out to all the people on Rockfin. Shout out to all the members and the Patreon members. We're going to start the Patreon only stream back up. So we just kind of took a break with the whole baby, but everything will be rocking out soon. Cool. Thank you guys for kicking it. I will catch up with you guys mañana. Till then, peace. Theories disproportionate
distortion it. The truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature to mean extorted it. They forging it. If news anchors informant to informing them there's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this reporting ships important. Yes, of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks we ignoring, which informing this, informant this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Rappers actors say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field that's for Israel. Wonder is it real?